Hi everybody, it's Liz and Kat from Columbus Kimono. Last weekend we attended Ohayocon in downtown Columbus and we came away with some goodies that we wanted to show you guys. It's basically just a very self-indulgent video like, hey, we got kimono stuff. And then Kat's gonna show you some of the other stuff that she got too that's non-kimono related because she can. So I bought 5 pieces when I was at the convention. I may have gone slightly overboard, but I ended up buying a jubon because I thought I was going to need it and wear it, and then I ended up not. But it's a pretty simple cotton unlined jubon. It's got just kind of a leaf vine pattern on it. It's got a pretty basic, just sort of cream colored Chiramen collar, and I ended up taking out the side seams a little bit so it would fit better, and it's not a bad piece, really. I can't recommend having a cotton unlined jubon more. Like, these are great because you can put them in a garment bag, throw them in the washing machine, hang them up to dry, hand wash them, whatever, and they iron really well too. And if you need to take out your side seams to give you a little extra coverage, they're real good for that too. So, jubon. Speak.
Ah. I thought we were going to do all of your stuff first.
No, we're going to go back and forth.
Okay. So one of the things I was most excited about, I think I am missing, I'm missing one of the obi that I bought. So even though I repeatedly told myself and reminded myself, and Liz repeatedly reminded me that we do not need to buy any more Hanhaba obi, there were unfortunately a lot of Hanhaba obi that kept catching my eye. They were almost all Hakata, but this one in particular really caught my eye because the Hakata weave on it is a little bit unusual in that it is this Sageha weave pattern. So waves, ocean waves. The color doesn't do much for me, but as far as interesting Hakata obi, I really needed to have this one.
You were eyeing that like all weekend.
I did. I repeatedly looked at it just over and over and over again, and then
you finally caved in.
I caved.
I didn't get any obi, although I thought it was really interesting and kind of funny. At one of the vendors, I found a twin to one of my obi that I have, and it's black and it has sort of like a celebratory like pine fans metallic woven on it, very like New Year's type of themed. And I was looking at one of their sets and I was like, that's my obi. I found a twin, so that was kind of interesting. But
if she answered and looked at her email more often, she would see that at least once a month I send her her twin obi.
Is it that one? That same one?
That same one. I've probably sent you various different listings from various different websites of that exact same obi. Like, look, I found another twin. But Liz doesn't actually answer any of my emails because she doesn't love me.
I'm really bad about staying in contact with people. I'm trying to get better about it. Anyway, enough about our personal lives. So I saw this piece tucked away in a pile of stuff and got really excited for one because it has that like Asanoha geometric hemp leaf pattern on it, but then also you can kind of see it's got in the background a bunch of different colors, kind of like pinks and yellows and blues. So this would be really easy to match.
It's got Erokomon.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's really hard to see, but yeah, those little tiny dots and everything, that's all like Erokomon style. So I was really excited to get this piece for one because I don't have anything with this particular motif on it. It's also, I believe it's synthetic. What do you think? Yeah, definitely synthetic. So that means I can throw this thing in the wash and it'll come out pretty nicely. And it's lined, but it's a fairly decent size. And because of the all over pattern, if I have to shift the back seam a little bit over to one side to like get everything around my butt, you're not going to be able to tell because it's got this all over nifty pattern. But this is...
It would confuse predators.
This would confuse predators, yes. This is probably my favorite piece that I got over the weekend. I love it. I can't wait to wear it.
I also got an Asanoha Komon. And this is one that I had seen at this particular seller's booth last convention that we saw her at. I think MatsuriCon?
Maybe.
I don't know when it was.
No, it was at Asian Fest.
Oh yeah, at Asian Fest.
Yeah.
She had this particular komo in her booth, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I really like it. It's not lined. I can adjust it. But I also just got a almost identical Asanoha piece a couple weeks ago.
Right. Just smaller. The print on it is smaller.
Slightly smaller print one. But she still had it at this convention, and I broke down and got it also. So here is my Asanoha Komon. A little bit more youthful in motif. It's got some sakura on it, a little bit bigger design, but also unlined. So I'll be adjusting it, taking the side seams out so it fits me a little bit better. But
It's synthetic too, isn't it?
Very synthetic. It's going to be super easy to wash, very easy to care for. I'm very excited for this one.
So we can be kind of twinsies because we like doing that.
I don't know. Yeah, we twin a lot.
We twin a lot. So this was actually the very first piece that I picked up and looked at. It's another synthetic komon, which I'm all about right now because they're super easy to care for, and we do a lot of events, and sometimes there's food involved, and I don't want anybody like spilling anything on me, but if they do or that happens, or I get my hems dirty or muddy, I can wash these. This is lined, unfortunately. This is probably the smallest piece that I got over the weekend, but again, just because of the pattern all over, I can kind of shift my butt seam and get away with it if I need to. It's got this really cute plum blossom pattern on it, or I'm sorry, apricot blossom.
Plum blossom? They only have 4 petals.
No, it's a little bit of an older piece. It's got some wear on it. This would be like late January, early February. Seasonally, if I was gonna wear this now would be a really good time, actually. But like I was saying, it does have some wear spots. I might wear it a couple of times and then like donate it to photo booth or something. I'm not super attached to it, but it's got a really cute pattern, and it was pretty cheap, so not too heartbroken that it doesn't fit me perfectly.
The other obi that I picked up was another Hakata obi in this kind of very striking navy with red weave on it. And typical of older Hanahaba, just has a simple straight motif on the other side.
Was that the one that had the quality tag in it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one was probably unworn because it still had the official weaver's tag with a green Hakata stamp on it, which I think is at like the 3rd or 4th rank of quality for Hakata. So it's not silk. It's probably some sort of cotton synthetic blend.
Yeah.
Which I don't care.
But that's the cool thing about Hakata is there are different quality levels, and there's different, like on the one end where you can like open it a little bit, there's usually a stamp in there that's a different color that tells you
if it's new.
Like, if it's new, yeah. Or if it's dead stock, you know, it's been sitting on a shelf for 20 years and nobody's worn it, you might find it, but kind of a cool little thing about Hakata. All right, so this piece I bought full well knowing that she was not in super great shape, but it is a very pretty sort of cream colored tsukusage, right? Yeah, because the patterns don't cross the seams. And it's got this kind of like blue and green sort of watercolor looking flowers on it, which I'm really into this kind of design right now. But like I was saying, she's got a lot of stains on her, and I didn't pay a whole lot for her, so I'm not really that concerned about it. I'm actually thinking about turning her into maybe like a restoration project and trying different types of stain removal on the different stains. Last night, I actually tried some baking soda and peroxide on a stain that's on the right panel. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. But yeah, you see that circle? There was a stain there that was about the level of that. And it pretty much took it completely out, but now I have this big sort of water stain. So I'm gonna see if I can remedy that. I might do a video on just like the different techniques I use to get stains out of this and see how she does. But she was really pretty. I didn't pay a whole lot for her. I hope I don't ruin her, but if I do, it won't be the end of the world. I know there's probably some people that would be really unhappy with me saying that.
How dare you?
Gasp!
Anything that could possibly ruin a kimono is sacrilege!
But one of the cool things about her that Kat particularly likes, which I think it's really the only thing she likes about this piece, is that, if I can back up, her pattern on the left panel goes all the way from the shoulder all the way down to the hem, which I find very, very appealing.
It's very fancy.
It's very fancy. This was the only formal piece I picked up, and even though she's kind of old and worn, she actually doesn't fit me that badly, but we'll kind of see what happens with her. Maybe I will do another video.
Kimono rehab.
Okay.
My favorite piece that I got this past weekend is probably this wool komon, which is pink and blue, which is one of my favorite color schemes. And what I'm particularly excited about is the little sections of metallic weave
Oh,
that pop up in here,
I didn't see
which
that
kind of like give it a
before.
little bit of a sparkle.
This kimono is very Kat in her aesthetics. I saw it and I was just like, yes, this screams Cat, but just like that. I heard it calling from across the convention center.
Wow. Wow.
But this is another nice kind of casual piece.
It still has basting stitches in it. Mm-hmm. So it's older for sure, but basting stitches unlined, so I get to take it out and make it fit more appropriately for me. Mm-hmm. And just like the little metallics in it are exciting.
Mm-hmm. It's another kind of youthful piece. I tend to dress like a grandma. I am married, but I definitely don't like a lot of the bigger patterns. I like the small stuff.
Whereas I love bright colors
Yes.
and big patterns.
Me and Kat's taste in kimono are so incredibly different. It's like, oh, hey, what do you think of this? And I'm like, it's okay, but I wouldn't wear it, and vice versa. So it's kind of hard to get each other's opinions.
That's
on
nice,
things.
Liz, for an 80-year-old.
I love dove gray and soft misty blue. Yeah. However, breaking my rule here a little bit, this was a piece I was really excited to find. It was another one that was kind of folded away and tucked in with stuff. They didn't have it out on display. But it's
Pro tip, when you're in a kimono booth in a dealer's room or whatever, yes, look at what's hanging, but if you have access to their stock that hasn't been hung up yet, don't be afraid to kind of just rifle through and just touch a couple, if your hands are clean, touch a couple things, look at the patterns and say, hey, do you mind if I pull this out? Obviously don't rip stuff out of their shelves and make a huge mess. But let the dealer know, hey, I'm interested in this thing over here. Do you mind if I pull it out? I've never had anybody tell me no.
No. And I've found some really neat pieces that way. I guess neat for me. But this is another synthetic piece, and it is this great purple striped komon. Now this is normally colors I wouldn't pick out for myself, but because there's just enough pink in it, I can actually get away with wearing it. It doesn't make me look terrible, I have jaundice, some purple does.
Well, this kind of purple is good too, because depending on what kind of obi and collar accessories, you can make it look more purple or less purple and push it more towards the gray section.
Right, and it's also got a real thin kind of gold stripe in there too. It's really hard to see on the camera, but this sucker, she is long and she is wide and she's unlined. She's long and wide. So even though she's got a little bit of stitching on one of her sleeves is coming undone, that's no big deal because I'm going to take out the side seams anyway to make her fit really, really well. But I paired her with my black based pink rose obi that I got a month or so ago, and it looks amazing. It's so girly though. It's just definitely not what I normally wear, but I'm super excited to wear this in this like late spring, early summer, like late May, June, when the roses start to bloom.
Maybe I'll wear it to the Park of Roses.
Yes. Yes. So, look for this outfit coming soon. Okay, that was all the kimono stuff I got. I left the couple other things I got at home, but Kat's gonna kind of finish up with her last kimono piece and then a few of the other things she got.
So this purple one that Liz got, I had looked at first. It was kind of tucked away in all the other stock in the shelf, not out on the hangers. And I touched it, and I thought it was lined, so I left it be. I didn't go back looking for it again. Instead, I found, because I was specifically looking for something with small stripes on it, I found this guy. It's a little bit darker purple. For some reason, we seem to have picked up opposites.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme with us. As much as our styles differ, we tend to have a lot of matching pieces, just sort of like in different colorways or slightly different styles.
Which is fine, because I kind of like doing matchy-matchy stuff.
Yeah.
You're like the sister I never had.
I know.
Because my sister won't wear a kimono with me. Unfortunately, I did find after the fact that when I was taking it apart to widen that they had a couple problem spots. Some stains that did actually come out really easily. I'm 90% sure this is a synthetic of some sort. It just has a really weird feeling to it. But it ironed amazingly well, and all of the old seam puckers are gone. Like, they just disappeared, which sometimes can be hard to do with an older piece.
Yeah.
I've already taken it out. It's basically done and ready to wear. I've altered it, made it wider, taken the sleeves out a couple centimeters, and then sewn everything back up. The couple stains that I found lifted really easily. Unfortunately, there are a couple weak spots in the fabric, and one of the sleeves has a pretty significant tear, which I was kind of bitter about when I realized, like, I could patch it, but if I'd have noticed that at the time, total beginner mistake on my part not to give it a better look over, I maybe would have not gotten it or asked for a lower price. But it's not super obvious, but between that and the fact that a lot of the original stitches were basically rotted out, and I've had to do a lot of extra sewing on top of what I was already doing to tailor it for myself. I don't really know how I feel about it. It's a good everyday piece, so I can't be too mad about it.
Yeah, that's one thing, is even if you're in this hobby for a really long time, especially if you go to a convention and you get in a dealer's room and you see something that you're looking for, sometimes it's hard not to just want to snatch it up immediately and not really look it over and make sure it fits really well. And, you know, I mean, if you've got the money to do that, it's like I had some money to blow last weekend, so I wasn't super picky like I normally am. But this is, you know, a classic example of, oops, I didn't see that. But it doesn't make the piece unwearable. You just have to kind of decide how you're going to deal with that, if you're going to patch it or throw some fray check on there or whatnot.
Yeah, potentially I could make the sleeves a little bit shorter and just hem that, make them like 2 or 3 centimeters shorter. But I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm just not going to worry about it right now.
I do like this colorway though. It's got like the reds and
reds,
stuff.
pinks, and purples. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm the only one who got other stuff. The dealer's room this year at Ohayocon was pretty much the same one that we have every year. I will say though, I was very happy to see the Kawaii Stationery folks out of Pittsburgh, I think, where they come from. They'd been missing from the Ohayocon dealer's room for the past couple of years, made me very super sad. I was a huge fan of their grab bags, which they didn't have any this year, but my sister and I did pick up a couple things from them. So you can never have enough cute stationery. I probably still have stuff I bought from them from the last time that they were at Ohayocon that I haven't worked my way through yet, because I buy a lot of their stuff whenever I do see them. I can't help it, it's too cute. Another little oopsie of mine.
Oh yes.
And this is totally down to, I should know better after as many years as I've been going to anime conventions. I should have known better. If you see something and it's expensive, or even if it's not expensive, don't buy it right away. Shop around, because you might find it again somewhere else for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And I saw, or which is to say Liz saw, this fantastic Hiroyoi
There you go.
figure, which I'm excited to see more Gundam Wing stuff coming out again.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's happening. Are they secretly going to make a reboot that we don't know about?
I would be really excited about that, yeah.
Because we freaking love Gundam Wing. So I guess this was a set that came out. It was a Hiroyue doll and a Relina Dorlin doll. And bless her heart, I'm just not that big of a fan of Relina. So I spent a hefty...
It's got a really tiny picture, but like the two figures, like the bases fit together. So they were kind of meant to be like sold as a set, but they were boxed separately. So
I wasn't going to buy a Relina. So
No.
if I had looked a little bit and been a little bit more patient about it, because the dealer was like, oh, this is the only one we have, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I got to get it. Not only was it not the only one he had, and he had another one out the next day, which I called him on. He's like, oh, I didn't know we had two. Like, okay. But I could have gotten it for like $30 cheaper if I had waited and shopped around a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, classic example of be patient and look.
Yeah. But it is a really, really nice.
Oh, it's very good. I'm not arguing the quality of it. I'm just saying I could have gotten it from cheaper.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm excited about, and obviously there's a movie coming, and Arise has been, I guess it's finished now.
Yeah.
But they're coming out with new Tachikoma plushies. And for those of us who are into Ghost in the Shell, you know, they had the bigger versions of these in blue many, many years ago, and then they went out of production. I have the bigger version in blue, which I got off eBay a couple years ago for quite a bit, because you couldn't buy them anymore. You can only get the yellow ones. But now they're coming out with little blue ones, so I had to get it. So I've got a big Tachikoma and a baby Tachikoma.
She came up carrying this thing, and I was just like, what is
this
that?
weird blue spider-looking monster thing?
I was so confused, and oh, she left. But it's just, to me, it's so weird looking. Like, I don't even know how to respond to this, but I'm glad that she found it and she's happy, I guess. But yeah, not a clue. Not a huge Ghost in the Shell fan. Oh my god. Okay, they are kind of cute together though. Look at this.
Mommy and baby Tachikoma.
Okay. I can get behind that because that's cute.
I'm so excited for all the new merchandise that's going to be coming out for Ghost in the Shell. Okay, the other thing that I was really excited to buy this year, and I'd been eyeing one of these for many years, and I just couldn't bring myself to get one because they are so gosh darn expensive, and I already have one in a different character that I like to wear every now and again. But I finally got a parakeet kigurumi.
It's really cute, like especially the way the wings are done on the back. I love this. And then it's got the little like hand thingies. This thing is so stinking cute. And the little tail. Yeah.
And
it's
I had a little help from one of my friends who was too drunk to make better life choices and gave me some extra money. So yeah, I finally got.
It's super cute.
I love it.
Yeah, it's adorable.
And I mean, unfortunately, looking at it makes me miss my blue parakeet that I had for years and years and years. But Shokun, I love it. And I just threw it on the floor.
I love this thing so much. Toss.
Let's talk about the dealer's room at Ohayocon.
You mean Artist Alley?
Artist Alley at Ohayocon.
Yes. Artist Alley this year was pretty amazing. They had some really good artists in there.
Let me preface this by reminding people that Ohayocon's Artist Alley is kind of weird in that they don't allow fan art.
Yeah. It has to be all original stuff.
Which is, I still, like, even after this is like the third year now.
Third or fourth. It's been
year.
going on like that for a while.
I still kind of think it's kind of weird, I think. I mean, luckily there are other conventions in the Columbus area that I can go to get my fan art fixed. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I understand why they do it, but that, for me, especially when I started going to conventions 10 years ago, that was part of the appeal of Artist Alley for me, is that I could go and I could, like, buy fan art, and I could commission fan art, but...
I mean, you could still commission fan art, but...
Oh, yeah, that's true. But there were a lot of really talented artists this year, and
Yeah.
I got a couple of really nice things, a nice print and a nice wall scroll, and a bag. So it was kind of nice. I actually think overall I got more things from Artist Alley than I did the dealer's room this year, and it's usually the other way around. Okay, I'm sorry.
But what did you get? Oh, you didn't bring any of it, did you?
I didn't know, because I thought we were just doing kimono stuff. I didn't realize this was going to be an Ohayocon overview. I thought this was just going to be a kimono.
Let me back up again to the dealer's room. I got a couple things, which I am frequently disappointed by the selection of manga in the dealer's room. It's either stuff that's really, really old and that the dealers are still trying to get rid of and keep hauling it around with them to the different conventions, or it's stuff that I'm just really not interested in. I did find one dealer that had some manga from one of my favorite publishers. This is Sublime, who does pretty much only yaoi or shonen ai manga. And I just picked up, he had 2 random volumes of it, 3 and 7, which I both picked up because I don't particularly care about continuity. So this was more of a support the publisher than what I have an actual interest for in the story. I found a really old, long out of publication, long out of print yaoi manga from one of my favorite guilty pleasure authors, who is the type of author who does the big hand, small body yaoi.
Oh my god, yaoi hands.
Yaoi hands, which I'm not gonna I know it's ridiculous, but I kind of like it. And then I made the mistake of getting a grab bag at one of the tables.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
The grab bag was called
Super Gay.
Super Gay grab bag.
Mm-hmm. They also had other ones called Boner Time, which I'm not sure if that would have been better or worse.
I don't know. I picked the super.
I
picked the Super Gay.
She
over
picked
the
Super
Boner
Gay.
Time, which we did also an opening video of.
Yes.
Which we'll have to get around to splicing in here somewhere. And I was kind of excited. I thought I would get like some funny hee hee ha ha yaoi. Instead, I got what you actually expect to get out of a grab bag, which is the crap that they can't sell.
Yes.
Unless they blindly sell it to someone who doesn't know what they're buying.
Right.
So unfortunately, I got.
I don't know. This one it's older, but it might not be terrible.
It probably is terrible. I don't know what this is. I've never heard of it. It just reminds me of the really unfortunate art style of Level C, which probably means it has a lot of the same rapey overtones.
Yeah.
I will make that judgment call based on the art style. Thank you. And then the more unfortunate of the two things was...
We may need to like cover that when you show the cover.
I'm just going to put my hand over it.
Okay.
Samurai Fantasy, a gay adult fantasy parody, which is some sort of crossover between Street Fighter and Rurouni Kenshin, wherein everybody is a dude, everybody is hella gay, and the hilt of Kenshin's sword is not a traditional sword hilt.
No.
If you catch my drift.
Use your imagination. Oh, and it's completely uncensored. Did you say that?
It's completely uncensored.
I feel like I will need to consume a lot of alcohol before I can watch that and not have it completely scar me.
I'm really sad that Liz is going to make us watch this.
I can't help it. I know it's going to be so bad, but we're going to have a night where we probably get really drunk and watch it. Maybe we should film our reaction to it.
No.
Okay,
no? Back to Artist Alley. I also spent a lot of money at Artist Alley, which I think is pretty usual for me.
Yeah.
There was one particular artist who I had seen promoted by Ohayocon, probably on their Tumblr, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I need to get one of those. I got a brand new phone a couple months ago. I'm massively in debt for this brand new phone because $800 phones, and I decided to go ahead and jump for insurance because I don't want to break my $800 phone and have nothing.
And have no phone.
Yeah, so I'm also now kind of going crazy on accessories for my fancy phone. And I got this amazing phone case with glitter on the inside. I love the
Lace.
I thought you were touching my butt,
No,
but it was
no,
my chair.
it's the chair.
The lace, the just everything. I love everything about it. And then also I will just constantly distract myself with the glitter in the case.
That thing is so super girly, but the glitter in it just mesmerized me through the whole convention. I would have bought one just for the glitter aspect of it, but I wouldn't be able to like leave this stuff alone. I would just like pick at it. So
Yeah, it's not a very good case to like carry around. I can't put this in my pocket because it would all just peel off after a while. Right. But I'm gonna try really hard to like.
Should do like a super girly, vaguely Lolita-esque kimono cosplay. Get yourself like a fancy parasol and like this and.
No, really, I'm just going to have it in situations where I'm never going to put it away, like somewhere where I'm bored. Like at work. This is an excellent work phone case because I never put my phone away at work. And then I'll just sit there all day long.
And watch the glitter fall.
Watch the glitter.
Yeah, it's kind of mesmerizing.
I got a couple other small accessories from this same seller with all the, like, the
It's like fake icing.
Icing, thank you. With all the icing decorations on it. But this was like the most interesting thing I got from her. A couple stickers from one of my favorite artists. I probably have so many of these that I've lost track. Mm-hmm. So I love this particular artist.
I have quite a few of her stickers and stuff like that too. And apparently she's also a tattoo artist, so she let me look through her portfolio, which is
I
really
knew
awesome.
Because I follow her on Facebook.
I could not have this in my office or in my house. I would get no work done, ever, because I would be staring at that. This one, not so much, although I do like how he's sort of like picking the wedge there.
Gotta get that nylon out. Okay, this is technically my sister's, but I ended up taking it home on accident. She's convinced that this is Makoto from Free. I'm convinced that this is Captain America. Obviously, these are all original characters from the artist, but we can dream.
We can dream.
We can dream.
We can fantasize.
I like all of this.
Yeah, I like all of that too. It's very distracting.
Can I point out that in the dealer's room as a whole,
mm-hmm.
there was a lot of Captain America merchandise, but hardly any Iron Man.
Was there?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not really into that, so I don't look for it.
I was very upset by this. I love Tony Stark. That's pretty much it. So other than just lots and lots of bubble tea.
Bubble tea every day. It was
multiple
fantastic.
times.
Yeah, lots of bubble tea.
Lots of bubble tea.
So basically, we spent a lot of money. And if you've made it to the end of this video, congratulations, because we talked and talked and talked and talked and yay, kimono. Oh wait, before we go, we should talk about like the two things we have already set up this year, kimono wise.
Okay.
So next month, is it February 9th? We are doing a presentation for the Columbus Arts Council on what, how to wear?
No, it's kind of a hot 1 hour mashup of seasonality, formality, and weave/general design. So we're going to have 3 examples of varying formalities and varying seasonalities of kimono to talk about. While people who attend, it is free to attend. Parking you do have to pay for. Kind of a cafe clutch type thing.
I think it's called like Conversations and Coffee. It's like a monthly thing that they do, but yeah, they're basically gonna let us talk at them for an hour about kimono.
Yeah, this is the second time we've done a conversation with them. Hopefully this time I don't get a parking ticket.
And we don't have some random guy trying to ask us about geisha.
Which is cool. We could totally do a topic about geisha.
But not...
But I'm pretty sure that's why I got a parking ticket, because I couldn't get out of there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'd only fed the meter for like the 2 hours we were there.
Right. And then in April, we have been invited back to the Marysville High School Evening of Japanese Culture to do our kimono photo booth. And I believe it's still not 100% yet, but I think we're going to do another raffle yukata set for them. So we'll be dressing people up in yukata and, you know, some pretty casual kimono, and they can take pictures on their phones. And
it's not just us. There's a whole bunch of other super interesting things to see. There's usually a lady who does really amazing calligraphy. They have a bow and arrow demonstration.
The ikebana, the flower arranging. The taiko drummers are there.
There's a local taiko drummer group that'll come in. I think somebody does a tea ceremony.
Sometimes there's tea ceremony stuff. There's a lady there that does like traditional Japanese pottery. It's actually a pretty cool event for something that's, you know, organized and put on by high schoolers.
And it's to support their Japanese language program. So
and there's food.
Yes, last year the kids made amazing strawberry daifuku. They were so good.
Yeah, and they made takoyaki too, the little like
octopus dumplings.
Yeah, so it's
doing my happy fat kid dance.
It's a good event to go to. I think there's a small charge to get into it, and then you have to pay for food. But like all of the booths and all of that are usually either free or like really cheap. I think we usually charge like $1 or something to like
all the money goes to support them going to Japan.
Yeah, so it's for a really good cause. So those are the two things that we have planned so far this year. We usually do something for the OSU Japanese Student Organization Spring Festival. We haven't gotten in contact with them yet, but we'll keep you guys updated. Bye!